All right, so this is the message today, everybody. This is my book that most people report, say maybe half my readers report that they do not finish. But there's an interesting trend happening. So this is me coming out straight with you. Judgment Detox is my book. Out of all 8 of my books, I have an 8th one that I've just finished today. Out of 8 of my books, this is the one that people don't finish. And I want to acknowledge why. So, and acknowledge a trend that I've seen over the last 3 weeks, which is that I'm getting DMs and messages from people all over the country saying, I finally finished Judgment Detox. I've done quite a few interviews over the last 2 weeks, and each interview, people are asking me to talk about Judgment Detox. I found that 2 weeks ago, when all this began, I picked up Judgment Detox and started reading it again. And I want to say why this is the one that people do not finish. I think that people are saying they love the book. Okay, cool. I think the reason people aren't finishing Judgment Detox is because it's a lot of work. It requires a lot of personal growth and let me just flip that back. It requires a lot of commitment to your spiritual practice. So I say that with pride, actually, because I think that this is probably of all the books I've written, it may not be the one that was the most popular, but I think it's the most important. And it's definitely the most important right now because our peace, our sense of inner peace is being challenged daily. And not only is it challenged daily, but it's the level of judgment is at an all-time high right now, because when we feel out of control, we want to blame other people for that feeling of discomfort. And so this book is a way of, and then the other thing is when we feel out of control, we act out in addictive patterns. And one of the most addictive patterns that we have is judgment. And I just posted below the link because I'm actually just giving away the introduction to the book. So you can just click that link that's pinned, gabbybernstein.com/judgment detox, and you can get the introduction. It's a gift from me. It is in Dutch, I believe, yes. Someone's saying, it also helped me own my shit. That's a good one. Yeah, okay, I'm going to read the comments in a minute because they're so good. So I want to just call this out right now. We all feel out of control. Our unconscious wounds are activated. Our childhood wounds are activated. In that place of fear and discomfort, we act out. And one of the biggest ways that we act out is by trying to blame it on other people. And that's not going to help us right now. We may be at home with family members that are pissing us off, or we may be angry at the political figures that we don't feel are supporting us, or we're angry at people that are judging the political figures that we love, or whatever. We are in it right now. We are massively in it right now. And I started writing this book the day after the 2016 election, and it was my response to witnessing the most divisive time I'd seen to date. And I think that now is maybe worse. So I think that this is our time to start to really recognize the ways that judgment is holding us back from the place of peace within us. And I just have to really call it out. The second that everything started, that the shit started to hit the fan, I was in a radical judgment spiral. And judging people and things that were totally not even connected to what was going on, just because that was my way of trying to maintain a sense of control. Okay? Let me read something that I opened to today. So, okay. A powerful way to stay committed to your judgment detox practices is to commit to feeling good. Before practicing the judgment detox, I found it easy to fall into negative stories and feelings that would take over my day or week or even longer. Upon completing the steps, I noticed that I was no longer tolerant of unnecessary negative feelings. No longer tolerant of unnecessary negative feelings. Now, I'm not suggesting that you don't honor your negative feelings. That's actually the second step in this book. But the unnecessary feelings. I wanted to be happy, connected, and free. And A Course in Miracles says, the choice to judge is the cause of our loss of peace. And therefore, when we meet ourselves and everyone else without judgment, we will experience a release and a sense of peace so deep that it will be beyond anything we could possibly imagine. Come on now, people. So I began to experience this truth and peace, and I became willing to do this work over and over and over again. And look, the trainer's got to stay in the gym, right? So the writer's got to read her own books. And here I was just last 2 weeks ago and just reading this book and saying, it's time to go. And I write in the book about how judgment is an addictive pattern. And the reason that this judgment is an addictive, it's so funny. Somebody's judging me on the feed. God bless you. May you feel safe. And I mean this. May you feel connected. And may you, whoever that was just judging me on the feed, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. May you feel loved. And, yesterday, some of my team were saying that people were writing in nasty things. And I was like, if anybody writes in something nasty to us or just aggressive, give them our new meditation album, or give them anything. Just give to them, because my team wanted to protect me, and they were like, no, we have to not respond to these, people being negative. And I was like, hell no. Give to them, support them, be kind to them. When people are in a negative place and judging you, our initial response is to judge back. That perpetuates the judgment cycle. When you witness that, when you do this book, you recognize that your judgment is a reflection of your own internal shadow. It's a disowned part of your own shadow. So because I lived these practices, my team, like my newest member of my team, my CMO, Lindsay, who's really protective of me, was like, what? How could we give them a meditation album if they've just been berating you in customer care? And I was like, how could we not? How could we not support someone that is in that much suffering? So whoever posted here that they were mad at me, wanted to unfollow me, email support@gabbybernstein.com. And I'd love to give you something. I'd love to give you something, whatever it is that you want, whatever meditation album, whatever it was. Don't just everybody start emailing support. But I'm going to just give you guys so much. I want to give you, this is the intro to Judgment Detox. I'm going to give you, I've got a lot of free content online that people may not be aware of. If you go to gabbybernstein.com, there is just like decades of free content. And I want everybody to be using it right now. And I just gave you an hour-long anxiety relief program. So please use that. Please, please, please use that. Okay? The book is Judgment Detox. People are asking. So here's what I wrote in the book. I wrote, judgment is an addictive pattern. Judgment is an addictive response to deep-rooted trauma. The first trauma is the separation from love. From a spiritual perspective, choosing fear and separation over love dissociates us from our truth. We become fragmented in this state of separation and lose our connection to our inner being. In this disconnected state, we inadvertently turn our back on our inner being and become obsessed with an outward projection of who we think we are. Feelings of guilt and sadness wash over us because deep down we know we've turned our back on love. But we can't fully understand our guilt, so we do whatever we can to avoid feeling it. This is how the cycle of judgment becomes an addictive pattern. Let me unpack that for you. Right now, while you may be recognizing a tremendous amount of judgment, You also might be feeling the greatest interconnectedness that we've ever known, because we're living in a time where we are actually all one. We are all in this together. That page, guys, was page 9 in Judgment Detox. So what happens when we judge is that we and I posted something about this actually in my feed yesterday. So if you want to even take this further, check out the video from the Judgment Detox launch where I posted this in my feed. But it's the judgment cycle. So what happens is we judge. Actually, no, what happens first is that we, as young children, experienced being judged or experienced some sense of separation. This person has more than me. This person doesn't have more than me. I'm not good enough, whatever it was. And it was so painful to be in that place of separation that the only way we could survive was to project that pain onto someone else. And so then we build up a life of perpetual judgment in order to keep ourselves safe. But deep down, we know that we are kind, loving, united beings. We may not remember that, but it's what our inner being knows. So this is the judgment cycle. We felt judged. We judged to protect ourselves from feeling that pain and suffering. And in that place of judgment, we actually feel an icky feeling because we know that's not who we are. So then we start judging ourselves again because we don't like the feeling that we've gotten stuck in. And then when we're in that place of judging ourselves, we don't want to feel that anymore. So we go back on the news or social media and start judging. And, I've seen a lot of attack and judgment. And listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with people having an opinion, or if you see something that is unjust, to kindly speak up about it. But to attack people at this time is not going to support you. It's not going to help us as a collective. And the thing that's most important for you to recognize, and let me see if I can find a statement about this, but what's most important for you to recognize is that when we judge, it feels like shit. It just feels like shit. It's not a good feeling. And here we are. We have bring your shadows to the light is the last step of the book. There's 6 steps. The final step of Judgment Detox is to let yourself off the hook for the judgments you have made. This is possible when you understand that when you judge, you're really just looking for love. It's the true intent behind the attack. Deep down, all you want is to protect yourself from not feeling loved. Whew. It's also the intent of the person you believe has attacked you. We're all simply looking for love. Period. So, and I'm going to talk to my publishers and, see if we can, I'm going to just do things right now. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is yet. And my team needs to wrangle me because I just want to give everything away right now. But, so I'm going to figure out a way to get this content to you in easier and easier ways. And you can listen to the intro. The intro's a free link below, gabbybernstein.com/Judgment Detox. I'd like to keep coming on and helping you with this content. And the thing that's so interesting is this is the book that nobody wanted to finish. Not nobody, because there's a lot of people do come up to me at my events and say Judgment Detox was my favorite book and it changed my life. And I look at that person in the eye and I'm like, you're a spiritual rock star. Because so many people, like I would ask in an audience of 1,000 people who read Judgment Detox, who finished it? And 20% of the room will raise their hand or less. So many people, and then I ask them who didn't finish it, and they kind of go like this. But it's like it's a book that's going to ask you to look at your shadows and look at your triggers. And what we need most right now is to look at our triggers and our wounds, and to identify the ways that our deep-rooted wounds from our past. Someone said I didn't finish it, but I will. Go, girl, Tanya. How we have to see how we have these wounds from our past that we don't want to feel. So we put them out. And guess what? All those wounds are being triggered and activated and in your energy right now in the most major way. And so there's no greater time to do that inner exploration of what is really going on here. What is really happening inside that's making us act out in this way? And can you offer the book on this library app for borrowing books? Yeah, honey, email support@gabbybernstein.com and we'll work that out. Okay, so it's just, yeah, someone says, haha, I wasn't wanting to finish it either. Okay, we can do it. And it's, people just don't want to finish it because it's asking you to look at your stuff. But right now, what are we left with? We're in our houses, or we're, hopefully most of you are home, and those of you who are not and you're working, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. But those of us who are sitting here in our homes, and those of us who have children aren't really sitting around very much because we're probably busier than ever. But if you have downtime right now, you're left here with yourself. Yeah, maybe you have family members around, but what are you stuck with? You're stuck with you, your own shit, your own past, your own dramas, your own stories. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to sit in it and eat and drink and avoid and obsess and judge and judge and judge and judge and judge and be on the social media all day and judge and feel like more crap over and over and over again? Or are you going to say, I'm going to rise the fuck up right now. I'm going to look at my stuff. I'm going to allow myself to take this time that I may have in front of me and to really do a deep exploration of what's going on. I found myself all day long, I'm focusing on giving and getting an empowering message out to the world. And that's my mission at this time. By the time I put my son to sleep, I want to get into that addictive pattern of getting on the news and watching Trevor Noah and just judging out of control because I just want to numb out. But what it does to me is it makes me feel awful. So instead, last night, I didn't do that, and I got on a recovery group meeting online, and I listened to other people share, and I just took care of myself in a way that I haven't been. And I believe that if we practice something like this right now, we can really feel supported. If you have the book, The Universe Has Your Back, there's a whole chapter on judgment detox, and that chapter became the inspiration for this book because I literally remembered writing that chapter in The Universe Has Your Back, and I finished writing the chapter and I was like, uh-oh, this is an entire book. So that happens to me a little too much. Someone is saying, I am a healthcare worker and your miracle membership keeps me aligned. Emma, I am so happy to hear that. Anyone that is a miracle member right now, I feel you. I see so many of you saying that you are really supported by that. We've now opened it up to be $19 rather than annual or 6 months. So it's easier for people. So I'm so glad that you are in there. And if you're coming up for renewal at any time, you can get that $19 offer for you. I want to get this COVID-19 and be the best version of myself. This is why I'm reading your books and just ordered The Course in Miracles. Gorgeous. Reading The Universe Has Your Back right now, exactly what I need. Gorgeous. Please shed some light on the relationships, how men attract women genuinely. Well, I'd say do this book if you're trying to attract women genuinely because you want to clean up your side of the street so that you're more of a point of attraction for people who are healthy and well and loving and kind and supportive of you. Do you yourself... Yeah, there you go. Do the judgment detox for yourself is what she's saying. Because the person that we judge most is ourselves. And so I really want to acknowledge myself for a lot of work that I have done over the last 4 or 5 years on loving myself again. I have gone to very scary places of, a storyline that was my storyline was I'm a piece of shit. That was my storyline. And I did a tremendous amount of work. And all the books I've written in that time, Universe Has Your Back, Judgment Detox, Super Attractor, and then this newest book. In the last 5 years, I wrote these books. And the newest book that has no title yet. I wrote these books while I was in such deep recovery from my own traumatic wounds. And I have to say, having put that time in and having devoted and committed to healing little Gabby, has made me feel very free. And so my prayer for all of you is that you can not use this time as a way to hide and get back into addictive patterns of judgment and attack, but to use this time as a way to deepen your relationship to the younger part of yourself who is longing to feel safe and supported by you. By you. Yeah. And this book is actually the one book of all my books that will really begin to get you there. I'm actually writing another book after I submit this one. It's all about reparenting ourselves and loving ourselves and healing our traumas. But this one starts that process. So I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. If you want to listen to the introduction right now, you can listen to it at the link that's pinned. GabbyBernstein.com /judgment detox. It's my gift to you today. I'm going to keep bringing you more and more gifts. And yeah, I love you all. Thank you. This is a time for us to get deep into what's real for us and the healing that we're ready to experience, true healing that we're ready to experience. All right, everybody. May you all feel safe today. May you feel loved today. May you open up to release judgment and attack thoughts so that you can feel freedom today. May you release attack and judgment that you've placed upon yourself so that you can care for yourself in the way that you may not be feeling cared for at this time. And may you feel blessed and safe. And may you use the resources you have in front of you to show up for life with a tremendous amount of guidance, inner wisdom, and healing, true healing. I love you guys. Bye.